Okay. So hello everyone, and this is me fulfilling my promise for those that attended the X space. So for those that don't understand the context of this video, in the description we're going to put a link to the X space. So I think you should watch that. Sorry, you should listen to that first and then come back to watch this video. So this is going to be a demonstration on how to use Google Scholar, Zotero, and just how to like draft a literature review. So I asked for two topics. So I have two topics, and I will not use the exact topic because it's still an ongoing research topic. So, but I'm going to use like an adaptation of their topics. So let's get started. So I'm going to open Microsoft Word and um, so we have two topics, topic one and topic two. Okay, so for the first topic, we have BIM versus traditional methods, and for topic two, we have globally available corrosion resistant materials. Okay, so we have our two topics. I think that was the first step that I mentioned. You should have your topic or your research question. So now that we have our topic, we'll now go ahead to Google Scholar to get our resources. So what I will do is that I will just copy it, control copy, that control C. And so I'm going to start with the first topic and then move to the second one. So I'm going to control copy and I'm going to come to Google Scholar. So this is Google Scholar here. But if we are typing on Google, it is scholar.google.com. So we have Google Scholar here, and then I'll just paste. That's right click and paste. So I have this topic. So I mentioned in the X space that when it comes to Google Scholar, you can always filter based on the year of publication and by relevance, by dates, some stuff like that. So if you come to the left hand side of your page, you see some filtering options. So you can click on since 2024. So depending on your school or your supervisor or whatever requirements you have, there are some schools or some supervisors that will ask you to review papers that are 5 years old at least. So that means you can only go from 2024, which is the year of and that this video is being recorded, back to 2019. So that's for like 5 years. Some will say 10 years, so you can go from 2024 to 2014. So if you look at this page, you see you have 2014, you have 2018, 2016, 2004, 2017, and other things like that. So depending on your school and whatever, you can always change it. So if you're, for example, your supervisor asks you to review papers from 2024 down to 2019, then you come to the left hand side and then click 2024. So what it will do is that it will rearrange the papers based on the year of publication. So you can see this is 2024, you can see 2025, which is surprising. But the thing is that there are some publishers that will publish ahead of time. So the paper is says published in 2025, but it's already available. So we have 2024, 2024. So if you keep going down, you start going from 2024 to 2023 to 22, 20, 21, and so forth. So you can sort by relevance. So to give you what they believe is the most relevant one, and then they'll keep going down. Yeah. So the next step I mentioned in the X space is that when you have this, when you are presented with this page, the next thing you do is that you start going through these papers and see which is relevant to what you're looking for. So because this is not my own research topic, I'm just going to give an example. So I will come to this first topic. I'll right click and I'll open a new tab. So I'll do that for maybe the first five. Okay. Yes, so I have five papers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so what I'll do is that I think I mentioned in the XP that the next thing I will do is when I have this, I'll go to the abstract and read it. So this is the abstract. Every paper has its abstract. So abstract is like a summary of what the paper is about. So you come here again, read the abstracts. This is the abstract. For this one, this is the abstract. Yeah, this one also has an abstract here. This one also has an abstract. So what you do is that when you have these papers, you go through the abstract. I'll obviously not do that because this is not my topic, but I'm just giving an example. So when you go through the abstract, then you'll be able to know which papers are relevant to what you're looking for. So depending on what you're looking for, you know which ones to read, which ones not to read. So I would not advise you to read the whole thing before you can decide that it's not relevant to what I'm trying to look for. So when you go through the abstract, then you'll be able to decipher what is relevant and what is not relevant. So for this example, let's assume that this is not relevant, so I'm going to close it. So there's no point reading it if it's not relevant. Let's assume that this one is relevant, so I'll keep it. Let's assume this one is also relevant, and I'll close this one. I'll assume it's not relevant and close this one. So what you do is that going through all the papers, you're going to look at each paper. I would say I'll start with maybe 20. The first 20, go through the abstracts. If it's relevant, keep. If it's not relevant, discard. So you now have like a list of papers. So you have like maybe 8 different papers to start with, and then the next thing you do is to start reading. So so as not to lose track of the papers that you are working with, there's a software called Zotero. There are other softwares called Mendeley, and you can see it's like add to Mendeley here. These are free citation and referencing softwares. I'm not going to go through how to install them in this video, so it's just how to use them that I'm going to go through. So I already have Zotero installed, so I'll just type Zotero. This is how to spell it, Zotero. So Zotero. Um, so what I'll do is that instead of just reading these papers and closing them, for example, I'm going to read and keep them so that I can always come back to the papers. So this is how Zotero looks like. I already created the library for this particular video. So to keep this, I saved some of these papers for this particular video. So what I'll do is that to save a paper on Zotero, you come to the DOI. So this is what it's called, DOI. That is the digital object identifier. So I'll right click it and copy the address, and then come to Zotero, go to file, add by identifier, paste, Ctrl V, and then press enter. So once I press enter, you see I have the paper here. So this is going to be a good example. Let me just do the second one for as an example. So come to the DOI, copy, come to the Zotero, add by identifier, and paste. So you can also add by attachments. For example, you have the PDF, you can attach it here, and it's just for you to have all your papers in a particular folder, so that you will not it's not come to a situation whereby you have read a paper, you feel it's important, and then you're looking for the paper later and you can't find it. So you can always save your papers here. Okay, so so now we have used Google Scholar, we've gotten the paper. So let me do the same thing for the next topic. So the other topic that I have here is globally available correlation resistant materials. So I'll control copy, come to Google Scholar, control V, filters is 2024, and open. Let me close these ones, open these ones. Read the abstracts. This is the main body of the abstract. So read the abstracts. So these ones have given you they've broken out the abstract into 3: the background, main body, and conclusion. So read the whole thing. Here also read the abstract. Here read the abstract. Read the abstract here too. So if you feel like, oh, this is important, I'll come to the DOI. Is the DOI in this one? Okay, so I think this one should be down here. Yep, exactly. So this is the DOI. So I'll copy, come to Zotero, paste it. For this one also, the DOI is up here. I'll copy. If it's relevant, paste it. This one also, let me look for the DOI. This one does not seem to have a DOI here because this one we have to pay for it, but it should have a DOI in case you need to reference it. So I think this is published in this particular paper. So copy, paste. I believe it's the same thing here. Let's just see. Okay. Yeah, I think for this one you can copy this one as um as a DUI and then paste it in Zotero. Okay, so now that we've had our papers here, the next thing you do is if you want to review it, just double click it here and read. So it's just a management software where you already have all your papers in one place and they are not lost, they are not everywhere. So if I want to do this one, I also double click, it will take me to the page, I will read and everything. So we have two topics. We have our topics, we have our resources, that's the papers, and we have management software installed, that is Zotero. So the next thing that is on the list is to just read. Just read far, read every material you have, as many as possible. And then you begin to notice trends. You begin to notice what everybody is talking about. And then you can now come back to your topic here and have an outline. So because this is not my topic and it's not my area of expertise, I cannot give you like a one size fits all, and it's going to be different for different topics, or for different schools, different supervisors. So there are different approaches. You can use a bottom up approach, you can use a top down approach. So for example, what I advise is that you can type out some questions that you answer to form your literature review. So for example, for this topic, you have maybe what is BIM? Let's can start with what is BIM? What are the traditional methods? So these are the questions I want to answer in my review. How are the traditional methods currently used? You can say what is the downfall or pitfall? What are the pitfalls? Then what are the proposed solutions? So what we are doing is we're starting from a um, general form and we're going straight to BIM. So obviously there will be maybe some other solutions that were proposed to solve these traditional methods pitfalls. Then maybe one of the solutions you pick the BIM as a solution. You can talk about some other solutions. So when you have BIM, then you can now do, oh, what is BIM and how does it address the pitfalls of the traditional methods. Then you can now start comparison between both methods. Then how BIM is better. So these are just questions that you want to answer. So once you do things like that, obviously this is not an exhaustive list. So once you do things like this, you answer the questions and then you use these questions to form your why, your literary review. And then you obviously go to the papers. You're not going to it's not like an essay, like a secondary school essay where you do, oh, how I spent my last holiday. So this one we are answering questions based on what people have written. So that's why we have those resources. You can always go back. So that's what citation and referencing comes into play, or how it comes into play. So we have these questions, so we're going to use the papers to answer these questions. For corrosion resistant materials, let's see. You can say what is corrosion? You can start with what is corrosion. Um, so why do we need to address corrosion? You can say, okay, it depletes materials, a lot cost of maintenance, things like that. So why do we need to address corrosion? And remember that all these answers, you're not going to just bring it out from your head. You're going to answer the question based on what you have read from the papers. So what is corrosion? Why do we need to address corrosion? What approaches have been used? to address corrosion. Then we can now start looking at corrosion resistant materials. So this we are looking at the methods that have been used. Maybe for example, you can use there are other methods that can use to address corrosion like alloying and other things like that. So you can ask when you have discussed some other approaches, you can now come and now talk about what corrosion resistance. So what are corrosion resistant materials? You can say, okay, like what is the mechanism behind this, behind their use? Then you can now come and say, okay, you can list the materials and the applications. I remember that the topic says globally available corrosion resistant materials. So we have maybe like can list maybe like 5 materials, and then we can now look at specifically the globally available ones. So these questions again you answer based on your research. That is what you have read. So once you have answered these questions, then you can start putting pen to paper and writing a draft. Obviously the first draft may not be your final draft. So and yeah, so I think that covers like organizing literature, gathering materials. So then you answer the questions and then you connect the points. So after writing about this, obviously you have to now write it in a comprehensive manner. So I think the last thing I'm going to talk about in this video is how to use Zotero to cite and reference. So if you install, I think there are obviously a lot of videos out there to install Zotero and to use it. So I already have Zotero installed and I have the Microsoft Word plugin installed here. So if I want to add a citation, maybe I've written, oh, maybe the best corrosion resistant material is copper, for example. I'll have to come here and add citation, and then I'll pick the citation style. For example, I use ASME in my paper, so I'll just click on ASME, and then I can put the name of the paper here. So for example, let's say I don't think I have any corrosion paper. Well, let's just say let's say BIM, for example. I can click on it and then press enter, and then it comes as number 1. And then if I add bibliography, you see this is the paper it's referencing. So I think this is just a short video to introduce you to the literary review using these tools like Zotero. I don't have Mendeley installed, but Mendeley is also another good option that is widely used. So yeah, thank you for coming to the the X space, and thank you for watching this video. See you next time. So if you have questions, you can always ask in the comments, or you can send a message to the community manager. If you are not on the community page, the link will also be in the description, so you can join our WhatsApp community and you can meet other engineering students, ask questions and receive your answers. Thank you very much.